In this video, we're gonna make a ranking of the top 5 biggest structures I ever made on Minecraft. I will set some rules. They have to be houses or mansions. They have to be built on either this world. I would count structures from that other world except for the fact that none of them made it to the top 5. And when calculating the square footage, I will round it to the nearest 50 square feet. The nearest. And how I'll explain the top 5, each of them, I'm not going to do a full tour of it. I'll just do a 360 and give some key details. Enjoy. Number 5, the extended family home. Another nickname for it could be the tattooed mansion because of the patterns on the outer walls. We're starting off big because this mansion is 14,550 square feet. It's rounded to the nearest 50. And it's a 6-story house. And one thing it is number one at, well, 2 things actually. It has the most amount of bedrooms and bathrooms, standing at 16 bedrooms, 19 bathrooms. It also has some farms, a pool, a hot tub, some gardens, some more stuff. And for the gate, it's a hedge. And it is the first, not only is it the first concept in the wall that it had detailed walls like this, it's also the first to have, 7 households combined. Well, several. That's top 5. The next is number 4, the mega cabin. Unlike the last house, which had 63 rooms, that's the second most amount of rooms in a single house, by the way. This house doesn't have many rooms in comparison. Yeah, it does have 20 rooms, but even the second lowest when it comes to amount of rooms on the top 5, it has 50, so it ain't even halfway on not being the house with the least amount of rooms. Nevertheless, it had 6 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms, and it beats the last house by 1,300 square feet, standing at 15,850 square feet. And by the way, when it comes to counting the rooms, I'm not counting the porches, verandas, patios, balconies, and etc. I'm just counting the rooms inside that are technically enclosed. This was one of my older mansions, one of the first ones I made, and I'm pretty sure I showed you this one before. Got quite a bit of views. There's a pool. Has a large pool. Some ceiling fans. And there's the top of it. That was number 4. The next one will be a big one. So the next house is number 3, the Hermit Mansion. The big jump, when I say it's a big jump, it's a big one. It beats the last one by 7,500 square feet, standing at a respectable 23,350 square feet. And this also has the most floors. It's a 10-bed, 9-bath. It was inspired from Granny 3 a little bit, but it ended up being my own because I'm not good at copying one's structure. I'm not good at that. But these are cameras, so they're quite clever. They're all about that security. And the Hermit Mansion, it's my most recent completion, therefore I haven't shown it on YouTube yet, at least. So that was number 3. Number 2 is the Desert Palace. This one has 50 rooms, which at one point had the most amount of rooms any structure within the mansions and houses had. This is a quick 360. By the way, that one would be an honorable mention. It's 10,500 square feet over, but it's not even the 6th biggest. It's the 7th biggest, and those are statistics. And at one point, that had the most amount of rooms at 57. But that's not the main focus. This is an 8-bed, 6.5 bath. And there's been quite a few renovations since the first completed version. And this is kind of cool. There's a beacon, a flag, some chimneys. So this used to be the biggest at one point, due to the fact that, number one, I will explain why at one point it was the biggest, even though it came after the other one. And number one is the Great Dragon Palace. It always was the biggest since it was completed, but after the renovation, I kicked it off the list because it was no longer completed. But now that it's completed, it's now standing at a staggering 82,600 square feet. And if we counted the cockpit in the Dragon, if you all didn't know what that was, it's the cockpit. I guess it'd be a 6th floor, a 6-story house, counting that. But even then, before the renovation, it was 38.4 thousand square feet. Even before. And it had 34 rooms. But now, it has 80 rooms. So it's number one when it comes to room count as well. And now, I call it my masterpiece. And I consider that for a reason. By the way, one of the 2 videos on that got 100 views, and I appreciate the support. So, that was the video. I hope you enjoyed, and see ya.